From edible maces to multi-shot 12 crossbows to fists that can uppercut mobs into space, these are 21 Minecraft things you can only obtain with commands. First up, a stack of diamond swords, but not just any stack, a stack of 99 diamond swords. In one of the recently released 1.21 snapshots, 24W12A, the command system for obtaining custom items drastically changed. One such change is that you can alter the stack size of any item. For some reason, Mojang made it so that the maximum stack size is 99, hence our unusually large supply of diamond sword. When I try to break one of the swords, the number simply goes down to 98 and they're still very much usable. Here's what you need to type in the chat to obtain this item, and again, this command works with any item, so play with it as you please. Custom stack sizes weren't the only item components made alterable in this snapshot. Check this mace out, and for those who don't know, the mace is the newest weapon Minecraft is getting in the 1.21 update. It is extremely powerful. Just look at how fast I killed this warden. So, as powerful as the mace is, what do you think would happen if I tried to eat it? Well, in real life I'd probably die, but in-game it's impossible, right? Nope, I not only ate it, but it also gave me the Turtle Master effect, since I now have a 100-pound medieval weapon of war in my stomach. If I eat too many, this happens. Now, you're probably confused, so let me explain. Similar to the custom stack size, players can now change whether an item is edible or not, how many hunger points it gives, whether or not it's edible by wolves, and even which effects, if any, it grants the consumer. You can even give the effects custom probabilities of occurring, which is why I had to eat multiple maces to get the deadly harming effect. Here's the command, and again, change it as you please. Up next is a poisonous potato, an item that is so useless that Mojang decided to make this year's April Fool's update be all about it. But this poisonous potato is different. Check it out. It instantly mines wood, dirt, leaves, stone. It is the perfect super tool. It also doesn't burn in lava. Pretty useful if you ask me. Now, similar to the first two items, I modified the item components using commands. As you can see, the command has a fire resistant modifier enabled and also acts as a tool for every single block inside the game. Blocks that can be mined with a pickaxe, axe, hoe, and a shovel. Here is the full command, and just so you know, every single one of the commands we used in this video will be linked in the description, so copy and paste it from there if you wish. Now, if you thought these items were crazy, check out this bow that has multi-shot and piercing. But wait, multi-shot doesn't work on bows, does it? Well, it does now. In one of the recent 1.21 snapshots, Mojang changed how enchantments are added to items, and by using the following command, we can now obtain a working multi-shot bow. Actually, let me rephrase that, a bow with crossbow enchantments. Piercing works as well, as you can see. And one might say, Skelly, if a bow can be given crossbow enchantments now, does it work the other way around? In other words, can a crossbow have power, flame, and I don't know, infinity? Oh yes, it can, and infinity works as well. Similar to the bow, if you have a single arrow in your inventory, you can load it up as many times as you wish. This is pretty sick, and you know what's even cooler? We used to be able to obtain a mending and infinity bow through commands, but not the crossbow. Now we can finally stack mending and infinity on a crossbow, and it works. Thing is, there's one thing that annoys me. No matter how high the multi-shot enchantment is, crossbows and bows only shoot 3 arrows. While if you open up a secret version of the game called Java Edition 3D Shareware, which is basically a pixelated retro version of the game that was released in an April Fool's update, you can use the following command to obtain a working multi-shot 12 crossbow that shoots 25 different arrows. It actually maxes out at 12. I tried going higher, but unfortunately no. Fortunately, however, this feels seriously insane to use. I'd highly recommend trying it yourself. Just watching it shred through mobs, albeit violently, is pretty satisfying. Up next is something that honestly, despite having played Minecraft since I was like 9 years old, I didn't know existed. When wither skeletons are made to hold a bow using commands, they actually shoot flaming arrows. As you probably already know, wither skeletons can never spawn with a bow. They never did, despite the many updates the game has gone through. So why on earth does this weird interaction happen? Why does it exist? Well, it works in a similar manner to how the strays and the bogged shoot specifically slowness or poisonous arrows, almost as if their hands are oozing with that effect. It's weird for sure, but if you want to test it out, use the following summon command. Now, if you've been enjoying the video so far, please consider subscribing. We're super close to 100,000 subscribers, so help a brother out. Alright, time for the crazy stuff. First off, are exploding projectiles. I've always wanted to have throwable TNT in Minecraft and cause chaos just by spamming right click, and now we actually can. By using the following command, which executes a TNT explosion whenever your chosen projectile lands on a block, we can do stuff like this. It works with snowballs, eggs, and even bows and tridents, so pick whichever you want. However, keep in mind that in order for this to work, the command needs to run 24/7. Thus, you need to use a repeating command block instead of a normal one, and change it so that it doesn't need redstone. And also be careful with tridents, because if they don't have loyalty, they never blow up and start digging a hole to the bottom of the earth each time you throw them. So yeah, pretty dope if you ask me. Another hilarious thing you can do with this command is give yourself fists that can launch mobs into space. By using the following execute command, you make it so that every time a mob takes damage, their motion is set to be 10 blocks higher in the y-axis. You can change how high you shoot the mobs by altering that number, but be careful because technically this command works with the player as well. While testing this out, I had a funny interaction where the warden, having extremely high health, took a very long time to die from fall damage, and I basically had a warden trampoline. So yeah, this command gives you fists that can uppercut mobs into space, and again, have the command block repeating and always active. It won't work otherwise. If you combine our previous command with the next one, this happens. Exploding mobs that can launch into space. All you have to change is the last part of the command and make it so that every time an entity takes damage, they explode. This makes for some incredibly satisfying gameplay, but if you want to go one step further, add this command as well, which sets them on fire. As you can imagine, fire makes mobs take continuous damage, so for instance, the warden will begin to explode every second or so and slowly go up into heaven. If you thought these were cool, check out two incredibly powerful weapons you can make using the execute command, with the first being an anti-gravity bow. That's right, if you shoot at an entity with this bow, no matter if it hits, their gravity will be flipped. In fact, any mob close to the arrow's range will begin to float upwards one by one, making a funny UFO kidnapping scene. Here is the command, and we do it by changing the gravity modifier. The second weapon is a trident that shrinks or enlarges the mobs close to it. This can be used to either make your enemy's hitbox larger and thus easier to kill, or make them smaller and easier to trap. It's up to you honestly, and here's the command. We do it by altering the generic scale modifier. The execute command has near infinite combinations to choose from, so play around with it in your own. But you know what doesn't have infinite combinations? Cosmetics in Minecraft. They don't exist, at least not for Java Edition players. Sure, the new armor trims paved the way for some custom clothing, but I personally don't feel satisfied. Well, by using the following command, you can give yourself any hat. By any hat, I mean you can turn any block in the game into your very own hat. The command basically replaces your helmet slot with the block of your choice. For example, using glass in the command gives you a diving helmet. Using banners turns you into a very cool looking pillager raid captain, and using androids turns you into a really weird looking unicorn. Test them all out in your own world, because any block works with the command. Okay, enough with the items. Time for some status effects. You've probably heard about luck and bad luck. These are unused potion effects that can only be obtained with commands, whether it be the potion or tipped arrow variant. Thing is, a lot of people are confused about what these effects actually do. They do not change what you get when you kill mobs. They do alter the loot table of any structure chests you open, and the loot you get from fishing. For instance, if you have bad luck 3, you're more likely to get trash loot like leather boots, books, or fish. But if you have luck 3, you're more likely to get quote-unquote treasure loot like enchanted books and name tags. Pretty straightforward, but not incredibly useful. Here's an even weirder command on the effect. Health boost. But wait. Health boost is command only? What about golden apples? Yeah, no, those golden hearts you see are absorption, not health boost. It used to be the other way around, but changed in update 1.6.4. Now, health boost is not used in vanilla Minecraft at all, and can only be applied on a player or mob using commands. This is also how the popular lifesteal SMP works. They change the health boost effect's level based on how many times the player has died, and how many players they have killed. Now, we've looked at command only items and effects so far, but what about mobs? Let's start with the Illusioner. The Illusioner at its core is an unused illager armed with a bow. They were supposed to be added to woodland mansions, pillager outposts, raids, the classic illager trio, but unfortunately they never saw the light of day, and now they can only be summoned using commands. You probably already know how they work. The illusioner casts blindness on the player, summons duplicates of itself, and even makes itself invisible. Basically a really dope mob that never saw play. There are some interesting facts about it that you probably didn't know, however. It is the only illager that can see its target through walls, and if an invisible illusioner receives the glowing effect, all of the duplicates glow while the true illusioner remains invisible. Similar to the unused illusioner is the unused, oversized zombie called a giant. Giants are close to 12 blocks tall and use a 6 times enlarged zombie model. Because giants are not actually undead, they do not burn in sunlight, and they are damaged by potions of harming. As you probably know already, they do not move at all because they do not have AI. However, they can still move if ridden by a mob, which you can make occur using this command. This looks incredibly cursed. They're still harmless though, which makes the giants differ from the next mob in our list, the killer bunny. The killer bunny is an aggressive variant of the rabbit that is hostile towards players, foxes, and wolves, and can be spawned using the /summon rabbit type 99 command. Again, the killer bunny's function is pretty straightforward, so here are some weird facts about it to compensate. They are actually immune to the Thorns enchantment, and on peaceful difficulty they do not despawn, however stop attacking the player. They can also be bred and leashed by the player and follows the player if they're holding carrots, and they do not attack them at this point. Weird stuff, right? Well, trust me, it gets weirder, because the next command only thing is a minecart with a monster spawner inside it. It works in the same way as a normal spawner, just on a minecart. Moving it will change the spawn range of the entity inside, and changing the entity can only be done in the command generation process. In other words, you can't change it using spawn eggs once this guy is summoned. Furthermore, breaking it does not drop the monster spawner, only the minecart, so watch out for that. Continuing with monster spawners, there exists 2 special spawners you can only obtain with commands, the Ender Dragon spawner and the Wither spawner. I say these are command only, as the spawn eggs for the dragon and wither required to create these spawners are actually not present in the creative inventory. Similar to other hostile mob spawners, they require darkness to summon mobs, but be careful, you might bite off more than you can chew. Boom, those are 21 Minecraft things you can only get with commands, and again, we're super close to 100,000 subscribers, so if you enjoyed this video or learned something new, just consider hitting that sub button. Stay safe.